healthcare personnel. The plaintiff sued Democratic Governor Janet Mills and other Maine officials, arguing that the mandate violated their right to free exercise of religion because it failed to provide an exemption, for religious beliefs. Liberty Counsel represented the healthcare workers and says it will appeal the dismissal. This is SRN News. A sequel to a Christmas movie classics now on the way.
You'll have a chance to see a sequel to the 1983 holiday classic, A Christmas Story, before Christmas gets here. A Christmas Story Christmas will premiere on HBO Max Thursday, November 17th, with the original Ralphie in the starring role. Peter Billingsley is reprising his role as an adult Ralphie in the 1970s, returning to his home on Cleveland Street and the hopes of bringing his kids a magical Christmas like the one from his childhood. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Workers at a Chipotle store in Michigan have voted to unionize, becoming the first of the Mexican fast food chain's 3,000 locations to do so amid a broader unionization push across the country. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters said workers at a Chipotle store in Lansing, Michigan, voted overwhelmingly on Thursday to form a union with the Teamsters. You'll find more on these stories at srnnews.com.
The following program is sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Get ready with your legal questions and call Patrick now. 877-943-9673. Again, that's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now your host, Patrick Smith.
Oh, hi there, and welcome to another edition of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, and we are live, and today is Saturday, August 27th. You can call in now, 877-943-9673. We're live and local, happy to help any way we can. Your Saturday morning legal call-in show, every Saturday, 8 a.m. We're here to answer all your legal questions, so give us a call now. We're happy to assist you with that legal issue that's been pestering you all week long, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. For those of you new to the show, I'm Attorney Patrick Smith, your local Central Florida attorney. Offices throughout the Sunshine State. Newest office in beautiful Sarasota, Florida, where I was on Tuesday, and appreciate everybody coming out to meet with us there. So we'll give out the office number if you want to schedule your complimentary consultation at any of our office locations in Sarasota, Sun City Center, Clearwater, the Villages, Claremont, any of our office locations. We'll be happy to get you in for your complimentary consultation. But we have offices throughout the state to better serve you. So the number to talk to us today during the show, 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. You can always email your questions, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. And you can also submit them directly through the website, attorneypatricksmith.com. Today, I want to talk a little bit about golf carts. There was some recent news about the city of Tampa legalizing the rentals of golf carts downtown Tampa, and whether or not this is a good idea, bad idea, we open it up to you, the listeners of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. If you think this is something that could produce more legal liability as opposed to reducing legal liability, the theory behind both can be discussed. It's a matter of, is it safer to have golf carts operating downtown or vehicles or both? And the current debate is really ramping up. And the golf cart debate has really been something that's sort of riddled the state of Florida throughout the years. And we'll get into more details throughout the show. So if you have a thought on golf cart rentals downtown Tampa or anywhere in the state of Florida, give us a call. We'll be happy to take your insight on that and the legalities of operating golf carts on our public thoroughfares. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of the show. 877-943-9673. All right, let's go to Holiday and let's talk to John. John, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. Question, please, regarding death certificates. Can you please let me know where they're obtained, who's responsible for obtaining them, and how many you might need, and who needs them, and can they be photocopied? A lot of little questions there.
So the short version is the governmental agency in the state of Florida that regulates the issuance of death certificates is called the Bureau of Vital Statistics, John. So you'll want to contact the Bureau of Vital Statistics, and you can actually get anyone's death certificate without the cause of death. So you can contact them. If this is for a family member, because you are attempting to administer their estate and you're actually in the bloodline, I would recommend getting 5 with the cause of death and then 5 without in general. I think that's a good, safe number. Generally, you want to have 1 with cause death certificate for every life insurance policy you have, because those life insurance policies often speak to certain health conditions as far as disclosures of pre-existing conditions or lifestyle choices. For instance, if you on your life insurance disclosures said you were a non-smoker and it turns out you died of a terrible battle with lung cancer after 20 years of smoking, the insurance company wants to know that so they can obviously address that in the issuance of the policy or non-issuance of the policy. So I think 5 and 5 is a good general rule, but adjust that according to the number of insurance policies that you have out there. And I really think that in most circumstances, people will say, well, you know, I wind up with a couple of extra. That's fine. It really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal to go back and get additional.
Okay, financial? Presumably not.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with that. And so there's actually some procedural issues going on now without submitting death certificates, because you have to scan them, but you can't have them copied where they show that they're void. So they can be copied. And it's just a matter of if the entity or the institution that you're supplying a copy to will accept a version which has that void watermarking. I don't know if you've ever tried to photocopy in your traditional photocopier. The traditional Xerox machine, as we know it, will produce the void watermarking that's actually implanted on the actual death certificate. But scanning technology, the way it is such that you can actually do that without producing that void watermarking, which can be required in certain scenarios. But at the end of the day, yes, you can copy them. It just depends whether or not the institution to whom you're supplying the copy will accept the one with that void watermarking exposed.
Okay. And they'd need to be supplied to banks and financial institutions, things like that, presumably?
Yeah, generally it's going to be any institution that is involved with the decedent in some way, whether it's the settling of an asset, marshaling of the asset, payment of a debt, anything of that nature.
All right, you've been very helpful, Patrick. Thank you much.
You're welcome, John. Have a great day.
All
right,
yes, you too.
Thank you. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. You can give us a call now. We're live and local. Happy to help any way we can. You can email your question, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. So we're talking about golf carts, and the issue that comes up more often than operating a golf cart downtown Tampa, which is the recent news story and the reason we're talking about it today, is more about operating in neighborhoods. And we see it a lot in our neighborhood. My wife and son and I live over in Indian Rocks Beach, and a lot of people there operate golf carts. And I think there's this general misassumption that, you know, operating a golf cart is completely legal by anyone who can hold the steering wheel and press the pedal, and that's not the case. Florida statute actually states that to operate a vehicle, you have to be at least 14 years of age, and a lot of people presume that's the law everywhere in the land. But the state statute here says that city ordinances can actually go and be more restrictive. So some cities can pass things that ordinances that say you have to be at least 16 years old. You have to maintain insurance. There has to be regulations on the golf cart to be operated on a public thoroughfare. So a lot of misunderstanding out there about it. And unfortunately, sometimes it leads to tragedy. And you always want to avoid that. That's the whole goal behind these sorts of laws, and the public policy implemented in these laws is public safety. So trying to keep people safe and at the same time provide an easy means of transportation. So if you have a golf cart story out there, you want to share it, you're welcome to call in, and you're welcome to call in and share your thoughts on whether or not you think golf carts have any business operating on our public thoroughfares and in what capacity. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. You can give us a call now. Any legal questions at all, but today we're talking a little bit about the recent development downtown Tampa with the authorization of golf cart rentals, and we're getting your thoughts. All right, next we're going to Tim in Sarasota. Tim, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, how you doing this morning?
I'm great, Tim. How are you?
Not too bad. Hey, I just recently lost a cat to a bobcat. I live in Venice. I actually live in Venice, in Sarasota County. I live in a neighborhood. I have a fenced backyard. I have chickens, and I have a 2.5-year-old that plays back there. And I have a bobcat that's been coming back there. It got one of my cats. I was recently wondering if I had shot that with my shotgun, would there be legal trouble for me if I killed a predator on my property with a gun?
I remember this from years ago. There was an issue regarding an endangered species type of snake. And the particular issue there was, and I don't have the statute or the rules in front of me. The short version is I would advise you, if you think you have a bobcat problem, reach out to Fish and Wildlife and report that issue and see what they can do to investigate, possibly trap, relocate the bobcat, or do something before you take the matter into your own hands. But for some reason, and Tim, don't quote me on this, but I believe it had something to do with whether or not there was like an imminent threat to a human life. I think that was sort of the standard versus if it's just a nuisance, like if it's just sort of on, because I remember in this other deal, it was sort of that the snake was just there. It wasn't really threatening anyone. But
I have a 2.5-year-old. So the worry is, I don't want it to, they're the right size for, a predator like that to want to go after. I don't want to wait for that to happen.
And that's the point. Even if these species are protected species, you say, as rare as they are, you only have the 1 2.5-year-old. So it's even rarer would be Tim's argument. And it's certainly a justifiable concern protecting the 2.5-year-old. So you said you have a 2.5-year-old who's playing in the backyard with the chickens, and there's a bobcat that's sort of, but the 2.5-year-old's not back there by themselves, Tim, like you or another parent or guardian sort of supervise them, right?
Right.
I don't know why I just got this visual of the 2.5-year-old sort of tending the chicken coop on their own. And I was like, that there's other concerns there besides the bobcat at that point, Tim. But what happened to your cat? You said your cat was attacked by the bobcat?
Yeah, he was eaten by the bobcat.
Now, how do you know that, and you don't have to get too graphic because there's families listening, but how do you know that it was the bobcat?
That's true. I wouldn't be able to prove it for sure, but it's the same bobcat that's been coming back there. And there's definitely evidence of my cat's gone, and there's evidence that he was brutally attacked in our backyard.
Well,
and I have witnessed a bobcat eating cats before and did a little research, and it's a pretty common thing that bobcats eat house cats.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we call circumstantial evidence, but it's also possible that maybe your, domesticated feline fell in love with the rugged, wild nature of the bobcat, and they ran off together to start a new life in a different part of Florida. I mean, that's equally possible. Let's just put a happy spin on it. I didn't know if you might have had like ring camera footage that would have shown the attack or anything like that. And you're right, but it could have been a fox too. I mean, foxes are also known to attack common house cats. So I'm just saying there's multiple predators that we could assign it to before we assign it to this particular bob. Have you named the bobcat, by the way?
No, I have not.
We should do that now, Tim. We should come up with a name for him.
I'm just worried, and I didn't know if there was obviously, in normal circumstances, firing a gun in a neighborhood is not. I'm sure it's frowned upon at the very least by law enforcement. But I was wondering if I did encounter this predator, and if I took it, like you said, manners of man with a firearm, if I'm going to, get a felony arrest for, discharging the firearm or something like that.
Well, I think that when you look at defending your home and the general operation of the Castle Doctrine, the right that you have the right to use deadly force to protect your home and those on your property from the threat of harm of others. I think that I'm pretty sure that would extend to animals. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it would have to be a scenario where there was an immediate threat of harm. Like if you, and there's rules on this, I think, about hunting, and maybe there's a fish and wildlife officer listening. If you're listening and you're out there and you work for Fish and Wildlife, feel free to call and chime in. But I think it's a situation where if you're hunting an animal and it's out of season, you're allowed to, kill the animal if it's producing an immediate threat or harm. And that's like the old joke that hunters tell about, when he was hunting a rabbit out of season. He said, "Oh my gosh, look at that rabbit. He's coming right for me." And it's one of those situations where, we joke about it that way. But I think if the Castle Doctrine is going to allow you to take another human life for fear of harm to those in your home, on your property there, I'm almost certain that it would have to just sort of logically extend to taking an animal's life if it was presenting that imminent harm. But again, I think, Tim, with this sort of advance notice that there's some sort of wild animal lurking, Fish and Wildlife can come out, investigate, possibly trap the animal and relocate it, and then save you from that, and certainly get ahead of the curve to avoid any potential risk of harm to that 2.5-year-old, which is what I really hear you saying in your voice. I hear the anxiety about protecting the child, and that's what any good parent would do.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Tim,
I will give them a call.
Tim, thank you. What station are you listening on down in Sarasota?
The Bell, 102.5.
All righty, Tim. We appreciate you listening. Have a great day. All righty. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. You can give us a call now. We're live and local. We're talking about the new golf cart ordinance downtown Tampa, allowing rentals of golf carts and whether or not this is a good idea. We were talking about how in Florida in general, to operate a golf cart on thoroughfares, you have to be at least 14 years of age under Florida statute, unless a local city ordinance has an even stricter requirement. They can make it 16 or any other age. So you got to know your local ordinances as opposed to just the state statute. And you've also got to know where you can operate them. Just because you can operate them on some roads doesn't mean you can operate them on all roads. So you got to know your local rules about which streets are allowed. And there's some rules about if you're allowed to operate on, First Street, but not Second Avenue, you're allowed to cross Second Avenue if it's in your travel of First Street. So there's rules about this that you need to research before you just sort of turn loose in your golf cart in your community. And there's also some rules about what needs to be outfitted on your golf cart if it's going to be considered roadworthy and ready for the road. So 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. Just call now. 877-943-9673. You can give us a call now. We're live and local. Happy to help. Open studio lines. We'll get you a legal question right on the air. Again, I'm local Central Florida Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. And Yana knew that I was going to turn to her earlier in the show because of those of you who are regular listeners, you know that this is purportedly, and I'm using quotes in my head when I say that, purportedly Yana's last show. Right, Yana?
Yes, correct. Good morning.
Good morning, Yana. So Yana has been, Yana the Belarusian producer has been my producer now pretty much the entire time on my show.
9 months.
9 months? 10 months? Pretty much, we should... Vern, who runs the production down at Sun Radio in Sun City Center, he's like my statistician. I consider him because when I see him, last time I saw him, he said, you've done so many consecutive shows with no break. You haven't played any best of tapes, but I feel like he would know exactly down to the day how many shows and broadcasts we've done together. And, Yana is just one of those people when you meet her, you like her, and then when you work with her in a capacity like this, you just don't ever not appreciate how great of a job she does. So like when you come into the studio and everything is just so, down to the pen that I like to use when I take my notes during the show, it's all right here, fresh yellow pad that I like to use to take my notes. And today you even brought in a treat for everybody. It's tort, and help me with the second word.
Kiev cake.
Kiev cake. It's Ukrainian cake.
Yeah, I didn't find Belarusian cake in the store, but Kiev cake.
I want to know where you found Kiev cake. Which store was this?
Red Square Daily. It's a Russian store.
Red Square Daily. We have a Russian store?
Yeah, 2 of them in this area.
Okay. This is new information to me. So breaking news. So she brought Kiev cake, and then one of we had a moment this morning when we were talking about it because I was reading the box. And for those of you who don't know, I actually am studying Russian and was studying Russian long before I started.
And your Russian is great, actually.
But that was my point. Yana made that comment this morning. Our very first broadcast together, when I discovered that Yana was Belarusian, I started speaking Russian to her, and I'll never forget. Do you remember what you said?
Yeah.
What? Tell the audience what you said.
I said, okay, your Russian is okay.
No, that's not what she said. She's being nice now. She goes, your Russian is not very good. I mean, and it was just so deadpan and honest. Like, it was like this, you think as an American learning another language, you think you're doing okay. You take your Babbel quizzes and you score a passing score, and then you talk to a native speaker and they're like, this is not very good. So when Yana said to me today, your Russian is very good, that really meant a lot, because I knew she would be honest with me. She was not going to sugarcoat it. If it was bad Russian, Yana will tell you it's bad Russian,
and
right?
You can read and you can tell. Yeah, so
I'm slowly gaining my Russian literacy. So, and we just got to decide. I think we were deciding what terms and conditions we're going to keep you here today. I think we were up to, we needed to buy you a condo closer to the studio. We were going to make Evan and Martin, your 2 children, interns on the show. So the demands are there. So it sounds like we got momentum in the right direction. It's just whether or not this falls apart in arbitration, or if we're able to memorialize or codify a deal, right, Yana?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
All right. So, Yana, we appreciate you. And if this does wind up being your last show, it's been wonderful working with you. But, all right, we have a caller in Lakeland. Malachi, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, good morning, Patrick.
Hey, Malachi.
Hey, so I've been dealing with an issue with somebody that's been kind of stalking and threatening me and my family, my brother's family and my family. He's got a couple screws loose, clearly, and I don't know if he's been on medication or he's off it or not. It's hard to say, but we've filed an injunction against him, and it's just gone through this week. However, things have been escalating. It's been like a year of like messages through text and Facebook. Here recently, he's actually showed up at our house, and what's even more worrisome is it was a 2.5-hour drive for him to do so. He was in our area for about 5 hours, bouncing between our houses, and then took a 2.5-hour ride home. The injunctions just got served this week, and he called me saying he was gonna. It like really made him mad, and I fear he said he's gonna come down this weekend. Said we're gonna see him this weekend, and I kind of have a feeling like he's already made the step to show up at our house after years of messaging us. And I'm just worried about what's going to happen next. Where the line is drawn for me, like protecting myself if he's at my house or on my property, or me being overzealous and like doing the wrong thing.
Well, if you're ever given the opportunity, Malachi, you want to call Grady and his boys and let them do what they are meant to do. They are trained law enforcement professionals, and Sheriff Grady Judd is the best of the best. And he trains his deputies to be the best of the best. So if you're in Polk County and you're under threat of harm, you call Sheriff Judd, and he will see that you get the appropriate protection that you need as quickly as possible. Now, there are certain circumstances where you're not given that opportunity. And of course, you have the right to protect yourself, and especially if you're in fear of imminent harm. But we never want to encourage anything like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you can de-escalate a situation and save a life, and then let calmer heads prevail, obviously, because if a life gets taken, that's an irrevocable decision, Malachi. No one can come back from that. So
I understand. But the only thing is, I think there's one key factor that I think we're missing here. We got to understand this guy and the messages that he sends me. He thinks we're talking to him through trees and watching him through birds. I haven't seen him in 11 years until he showed up at my house. I didn't really know him in high school. So the kid, you can't reason with a kid like that. You know what I mean? And for him to think that I've been following him, and for him to make that want to show up at my house, he sends me messages. I mean, it's like out of a movie. He's saying the devil makes him do it, taking a life for a life. He's talking about killing our kids. I mean, I will call the cops.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I don't know what he's capable of. I understand. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. I hear the fear in your voice, and that's understandable. If I had someone, threatening me and my family, no matter what their mental state, but it also sounds to me, Malachi, like a little bit you're dealing with more of a mental health crisis that this particular individual is dealing with, as opposed to just strict criminal intent. I mean, maybe it's both. I don't know. But there's definitely, if he thinks things are talking to him through trees and watching him through birds, I mean, that's pretty advanced technology. I'm not aware of anything that would allow you guys
He says it's MK Ultra technology is what he tells us.
Now, I think that you did the right thing about getting the injunction. I think if you get wind that he's nearby or he shows up, you lock the door, stay safe, call the cops right away, let them do their thing. And you may, if you have an idea that he's going to show up this weekend, maybe go ahead and call and just give them a heads up. Hey, he made a threat that he's going to show up, and then they can have a cruiser in the area, sort of just slow rolling by your house, and that'll probably be enough to deter the guy. So at the end of the day, I say, just let law enforcement do what law enforcement does and keep everybody safe. And hopefully you don't have to wind up protecting yourself in that situation.
I hear you.
All right, Malachi. But you be safe, and call us back next week and let us know how everything turned out this week. And we'll say a prayer for you guys. Everyone in that situation needs some prayer, it sounds like.
I agree. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Malachi. All right. You listen to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our show. Give us a call now. We're happy to help any way that we can. Yeah, Yana told me, she said, if I leave the show, no one's really going to care. She's like, the show will go on. And I was like, I think and I told her, I said, even my own father, I talk to my parents most drives home after the show when I'm leaving the studio. And my dad even said, he goes, I'm going to miss hearing Yana's voice. And I think that, Yana brings something to the show that she's completely oblivious to. I really think she has no idea the quality of production and sort of just what charm you bring to the listeners, Yana. So I think people are going to miss you a lot more than even you realize. So if you have a message for Yana, you can call in and wish her goodbye or best of luck or see you later or maybe see you next week. I don't know. Depends on how things go. 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. We're live and local. I'm Attorney Patrick Smith, open studio lines, and we're going to Seminole, and we're going to talk to Nancy. Nancy, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hi.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, Nancy, are you a regular listener to the show?
No, this is the first time.
Oh, well, thank you for listening. How can we help you?
You're welcome. My husband was in an accident December 24th, and he died December 26th.
Nancy, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. The insurance company got in touch with me and said a woman that was involved in the accident, I guess, I have no idea if she's suing, but she's waiting. The insurance company is waiting for the medical records to come back. And so I think that's what she's going to do. And I told the insurance company I'm worried, and what should I do? And they said, well, we're hoping your insurance will cover it. And at the time, the police officer said no injuries, no major damage, which was true because my son ran up there real fast and seen that there was nothing wrong. And the policeman had a camera on, and I'm wondering, what are my rights? I went and got the accident report, and they said the exact same thing. The policeman had a camera on, and there was just minor damage to the vehicle. And my son said the woman it was a couple, and they were laughing and, you know, running around, and it didn't seem like there was anything wrong, but that's beside the point. What are my rights?
So, Nancy, at the risk of asking an obvious question, you haven't currently retained counsel, and you're not currently represented by counsel, okay? Yeah, I think so. It sounds to me like you said there was an accident and your husband passed away. Did he pass away as a result of the accident?
He wasn't sick. You know, he was waiting to go to the doctor in January to see about underlying conditions, but other than that, he was fine. He just passed away fast with no.
But he was at fault in the accident. Was he ticketed?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
No ticket.
No ticket. But he was at fault, and he had insurance on his vehicle, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So your insurance company should provide you with legal representation. Have you given a recorded statement yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you want to reach out to private counsel, give us a call at the office. I'll give out the office number here in just a moment, and I'll put you in touch with an attorney who's the type of attorney you're looking for is what we call a civil litigation attorney. And in this particular case, it's sort of kind of personal injury related, but you're on the other side of it. Your husband was the party allegedly at fault, as opposed to the victim. So just have a pen and paper handy, and I'll give out the office number, and we'll make sure to get you in touch with an attorney who can give you the best advice. Okay, Nancy?
All right. Thank you.
All right. God bless you, Nancy. All right. How many years were you married?
62.
62 years?
Yeah.
Nancy, for those of us who are only at 19 years, like my wife and I, share with the rest of the audience, what's the secret to 62 years?
Lots and lots of patience and love.
You know, and that's what most wives say. Most wives say some combination of being patient or understanding, and most husbands say the secret is just saying 2 words, yes, dear. Nancy, I can tell he was a special guy, and 62 years is something to be extremely proud of. So God bless you. I'll say a prayer for you, and I'll give out that office number here as soon as we hang up, okay?
Thank you very much.
God bless you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. That number to reach me at the office during the week, 877-754-6764. Again, that's your number to schedule for any of the office locations, Sarasota, Sun City Center, Clearwater, or any of the Lake County offices, 877-754-6764. Or if you just want to chat throughout the week, or if, like Nancy, you need a referral to another attorney, 877-754-6764. That's your toll-free office number to reach me during the week. And you can always email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, or submit your question directly through the website, attorneypatricksmith.com. And to talk to us during the show, open studio lines, 877-943-9673. I'm your local Central Florida attorney, Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. All right, next one to Brandon, and we're going to talk to Don. Don, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great, Don. How are you?
I'm doing good. Question. In my 80s, upon my death, who's responsible for what's credit cards, anything like that, house, and life insurance left to the family?
So the short version is you and your estate are the primary party that would be responsible for any indebtedness you owed. Now, if there were co-signers on those debts or people who guaranteed the debt, they would also be on the hook. But in a typical scenario, you pass away, for instance, let's say you pass away and owe medical bills or credit card bills. Only your estate is on the hook for that unless someone else is signed on to be responsible for that debt. So that being the case, if you have no estate left, these creditors are going to have no opportunity but to go away empty-handed. Now, just because you have assets also doesn't mean that they're automatically going to get paid either. And there's a protocol and a procedure to noticing creditors, and they have up to 2 years to file a claim with the court. And you can actually truncate the 2-year window down to 90 days if you do something called a publication of notice to creditors. So there's a procedure by which creditors have to file claims. And let's assume that it's a situation where you have $100,000 worth of cash and then $2 million in bills. Well, what they do is they go down this hierarchy. There's actually a class structure to the creditors. They're ranked 1 through 8, if memory serves correctly. 8, I believe, dead last was like credit cards and things of that nature, unsecured debts like that. Do you want to guess, Don, who number 1 is?
Wife.
No, it's a good guess, but it's the attorney's fees, because they wrote the rules, so they're going to make.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, attorney's fees, cost of administration, personal representatives fees, those sorts of things get paid first. Funeral expenses are very high on the list as well, and there's a scattering. And what will happen is all your class 1 expenses get paid first, then all your class 2 expenses, and when you hit that class where you cannot pay everyone, you do what we call a pro rata distribution, where you total up the total amount of debt, you figure out whose percentage makes up what percentage of that class, and then you scatter what remnants of the cash or assets are left among those creditors according to those percentages. And any creditors in lower classes, again, go away empty-handed. So that's the short version, or rather the long version, Don.
Okay, listening to that, would my daughter be responsible then? That's the part I don't understand.
Yeah, maybe is the short answer. So if you passed away and she didn't settle your debts, but she administered your estate and took the assets without giving due notice, she could be opening herself up to personal liability. That's why it's extremely important that she consult a qualified attorney about the appropriate protocol for handling your post-mortem estate administration, so that the creditors are noticed according to statute and are given that opportunity to file a claim. And if they don't file a claim, then, she's done her due diligence. She's bulletproof on that. But I think that it's important that she not just go in, take the money without settling creditor claims, without settling taxes. These are issues that need to be addressed before you claim the inheritance. Otherwise, I think you potentially expose yourself to personal liability. So your daughter may be exposed to liability, but I think with good legal advice, she can also insulate herself from it.
Okay, not knowing the family, not knowing what I owe, what will they do to creditors? Just mail it to her, or
yeah,
it's a
great question. So the ones that we do get bills for, we notice directly, obviously the ones we know about, but then that's what the publication is for. The creditors we don't know about, the publication of the notice to creditors in the local paper in that jurisdiction is a way you publish publicly. This notification that you passed, and exactly. So if you look in the newspaper, these are those tiny print sections you see in the newspaper that are the death notices.
Right, I've seen that a lot. I wondered what it was for.
Now you know, Don. Now you know.
I appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. Have a great day. All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. Or you can email me, Patrick, at attorneypatricksmith.com. Next, we're going to Tampa. We're going to talk to Greg. Greg, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, Greg, are you a first-time listener, or are you a regular listener to the show?
I think I've listened to it a long time ago, but it's been quite a while since then.
All right. What station are you listening on?
It's the Bone, 102.5.
All right. We appreciate you and the rest of our Bone family out there. How can we help you today, Greg?
Well, sir, I'm a trustee for a trust, and the beneficiary who we've been entrusted to take care of with the proceeds has hired an attorney, and because I guess they feel like we're not treating them correctly or whatever the case might be, and the attorney has requested documents associated with the assets that fund the trust itself, and some other information through an email, very kind of informally. And I just want to know, we're not represented by an attorney. The trust is not. We don't have an attorney that administers it or anything like that. And we don't know You know, I mean, we're rank amateurs at this whole thing. None of us have ever done this before. When I say us, I mean the other two trustees. And we just want to know what our obligation is, if anything, to respond to this attorney.
Yeah.
We're in communication with the beneficiary, but they are, she is very elderly, and we don't have a very close personal relationship in the first place. And she has a power of attorney who is her sister, who we mostly deal with, but she is equally, I think, incompetent when it comes to her duties, trying to take care of the financial needs of the primary beneficiary.
Just to rule it out, Greg, I'm not the attorney that sent you the email, right?
Pardon me?
I'm not the attorney that sent you that email on behalf of the beneficiary, am I?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
All right. I'm just making sure. So the short version is, yeah, you do have what we call a fiduciary duty here. There's a fiduciary duty to inform your beneficiary. There are lots of fiduciary duties. And there's also some key timelines a trustee needs to follow. Trustee notices that go out within 60 days of the date of death. And then there are notices on accountings and tax filings. So it's probably time for you guys to consider retaining an attorney. It's certainly time for you guys to consult an attorney. So if you want a consultation, give us a call at the office. We'll give you a free consult, kind of show you where you are, what you have done, what you haven't done, sort of any gaps you need to fill in, and kind of how to comply. But considering the fact that your beneficiaries retained an attorney, just to make, and I say an even battle, it's not really a battle. It's not really adversarial at this point. But a lot of times these things just go smoother when it's attorney talking to attorney as opposed to attorney to layperson. But probably time to retain counsel, Greg, to represent you as the trustee.
Well, that's kind of what I thought. But, you know, the issue is not us communicating with the beneficiary. We have been in close contact with them the whole time. It's just that they are not satisfied with, I guess, with what we've told them or what the information has said. And so the person I don't feel obligated to respond directly to the attorney that's involved is my thing.
Well,
so that's
right.
Do I have to respond to the attorney or not?
I think it looks bad.
I'd rather just.
It looks bad if you don't, though, Greg. And I think that your inclination's right. You probably shouldn't be responding to the attorney. You should probably hire your attorney, have your attorney respond to the attorney for the beneficiary. I think that's probably the most appropriate thing to do. That's going to sort of lower your blood pressure a notch. And a lot of times these situations just go where it's misinformation, miscommunication, and when the attorneys talk A to B, it's just all explained away and everything goes quietly into the night. So don't read too much into the fact that an attorney was hired. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be adversarial and headed towards litigation.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your advice.
Well, thank you, Greg. We appreciate you. You have a great Saturday, okay?
You too, sir.
All right, bye-bye. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. That number to call us at the office, by the way, let me give it out one more time. So to reach us at the office during the week to schedule your complimentary consultation for any office location, or if you need a referral to another attorney, or if you just want to ask a question during the week, 877-754-6764. Again, that toll-free office number, 877-754-6764. The number to be part of our show, 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. All right, let's go to Lutz. Let's talk to Brenda. Brenda, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you. First-time listener.
Well, thank you, Brenda. What station are you listening on?
The Bone.
All right. We appreciate you. How can we help you today, Brenda?
Well, my son was at work, and a neighbor next door, her dog, jumped over the fence and latched onto his face, which caused him to have to fight the dog off and get stitches. Animal control was called. The animal was quarantined. It had no rabies vaccine or licensing or anything like that. And the animal control report is telling the person who owns the dog that they're liable. Now, my son incurred $7,500 in emergency room fees, plus he lost a week of work. This is a tenant that owns these 5 pit bulls who attacked him. And I contacted an attorney, and he didn't seem to want to even be bothered with it.
Well, you've heard Attorney Jared Bailey on this show before, and I'm working with Jared now, and he does a lot of our personal injury work. So if you give us a call at the office during the week, I'll put you in touch with Jared, and he can give you a good second opinion on that. It sounds like something definitely worth exploring. I don't know if there's anything there or not, but Jared will give you a very thorough analysis and kind of what your options are.
Okay, and his name is Jared with a J?
Yeah, Jared Bailey, Bailey. And just give me a call at the office during the week. I'll put you in touch with Jared. And how's your friend doing now?
Well, he's got a scar on his nose and his face, but other than that, he's fine. Yeah. And the bills.
Well, yeah, this has been a bad week for dog bite attacks here in the Central Florida area. I'm sorry to hear about your friend, but I'm glad he's going to recover at least. Not every dog attack ends so wonderfully with a recovery, but I know he's got some medical bills now, I'm sure, from that dog bite. So yeah, just give us a call at the office, Brenda, and we'll make sure he gets the help he needs. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, God bless you. Thanks for listening. All righty, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Today we've been talking about all things golf cart and related to the city of Tampa authorizing the rentals downtown for golf carts, and we covered about the age requirements, some of the requirements for which thoroughfares can be traversed with the golf cart, and the requirements for the golf carts as far as having turn signals and seat belts and reflectors and rear view mirrors and wonderful things like that. So a lot more to it than just hopping in the golf cart and going in. Speaking of golf carts, let's go to Sarasota and let's talk to Joe. Joe, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you, sir. Long-time listener, and hope you always continue to service. It's greatly appreciated.
Well, since you said you're a long-time listener, Joe, are you going to miss Yana after she leaves?
Yes, I will. I will.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
this is what I'm saying. I'm telling you, Yana, there's going to be a Yana-shaped hole in a lot of listeners' hearts out there, and you had no idea what you meant to so many listeners. Anyway, Joe, how can we help you today?
Well, my question, sir, I moved from Massachusetts to Sarasota 7 years ago, and I'm quite shocked with how these golf carts can just dot across the road anywhere. And I asked the policeman and if they carry liability insurance, and that's what concerns me, if there's ever an accident, and they could cause an accident, because they're in the middle of the road, and they just dot across, even main thoroughfares. And I was wondering, if they're going to do this, shouldn't they carry liability?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that, and I think that they do carry liability by operating the vehicle. They're liable for that. The question is, should they be required to carry specific golf cart liability insurance? I think that's what you're asking, Joe. Should there be a separate policy just for the golf cart?
Yeah, I would think something, with insurance, they could put a rider on their motor vehicle that they have a golf cart or something. It concerns me because the insurance practices down here regarding vehicles with pedestrians, medical insurance, the PIP, personal injury protection, you can't carry high limits in Florida. And that's what concerns me.
Yeah, I would say reach out to your insurance professional and ask them if you had a golf cart, Joe, and you were going to try to get insurance, what's the most effective way? And that'll probably tell you what the best answer would be for everyone else under current Florida law.
Yeah.
But
all right, I appreciate that.
Great point, Joe, and thanks for your faithful listenership, okay?
Right, and the thing I don't understand in the city of Tampa, not a good place. In the main arteries.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic. It's congested. Sometimes people are down there enjoying adult libations and adding golf carts to the mix. I don't know. I think I'm concerned about whether or not it's going to be the safest option. But Joe, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Joanne and Ken, I see you guys on the line. I'm going to take you guys off the air, so just sit tight. I'm going to wrap up the show here. Yana, any final thoughts on your last show with us?
I really appreciate you, Patrick. I'm enjoying work with you all these 9 and 10 months, and I will miss you and all my coworkers, and I think everyone doing a great job here. And thank you. And we have like 15 seconds.
That's right. There we go. 15 seconds. Yana, well said. We appreciate you. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Write the number down for next week, 877-943-9673. Everyone have a great Saturday. God bless. Stay safe. And go Gators.
The proceeding was sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith. W282CI Tampa, W271CY Lakeland, W262CP Bayonet Point.
Online at letstalkfaith.com or listen on TuneIn and Odyssey. Faith Talk Tampa supports Hope Children's Home of Tampa in their new ministry, Bundles of Hope, lovingly caring for infants from mothers of crisis pregnancies until they're either ready to give care on their own or put the baby up for adoption at cost to a loving Christian family. Construction's already begun on these nurseries in the Tampa area, and they need our help financing them. Right now, your most generous gift will be doubled when you visit letstalkfaith.com and click on the Bundles of Hope banner or call 800-280-8108.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. It's really frustrating to deal with out-of-pocket medical expenses, just watching your hard-earned dollars flying out the window. Well, here's something that can really help, and it's worth taking a minute to look into. Medi-Share is a new option. It's called Medi-Share 65 Plus. And Medi-Share is a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. It really is a community, too. People encourage and pray for each other. Medi-Share 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. It's a great way to fight inflation, too. You can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years, and you can use your Medicare-approved doctor, and you also get telehealth 24/7 service, so you don't have to leave your home for the little stuff. Very worth looking into, and it's so easy to find out why people rave about the customer service at Medi-Share. They're easy to talk to. Call 1-800-PSALM-16. That's 1-800-PSALM-16. 1-800-PSALM-16.
Strength between Sundays on Faith Talk Tampa.
Incredible thing about the Me Too movement is that as people begin to become exposed, some were defiant while some were crushed. But as Chuck Swindoll says, that no one falls in a moment. They may be exposed in a moment, but no one falls in a moment, because usually the exposure is an exposure of a pattern of behavior that leads ultimately to the fall. That's why I believe when Paul said, let a man examine himself, Paul is saying you need to get your house in order, because the day will come, number two, when private sin takes on a public face. You see, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Because early this morning it says, in verse 16 to 22, Joshua had Israel come forward by tribes, and Judah was chosen, clans of Judah came forward. The Zezerites came forward. He had the clan of Zaharites come forward by families. So the Lord was with Joshua and his fame, and chosen. Joshua and his family came forward by man, and Achan, son of Hamori. They all began to come forward until what happened? Until he was exposed. You see, other people are affected by our private sin. Think about it for a moment. Think about people who are connected, and we all know whether it's in politics, whether it's in entertainment, whether it's in the church. It's not only the person who is exposed who faces ridicule or exposure, but it's the people around them that have to deal with the fallout. Other people are affected by our private sin. You see, sin doesn't depend on whether someone else is hurt. You can also sin against God. For every sin we sin is a sin against God, but it's also a sin against other people. But ultimately, sin does not depend on whether someone else is hurt, but it depends on whether God is offended.
Gaining Ground with Pastor Evan Burrows, Saturdays at 4 p.m., Sundays at 1:30 on Faith Talk Tampa.
Cornerstone Pros.
You don't allow just anyone into your home, and Cornerstone Pros doesn't let just anyone join their team. Cornerstone Pros technicians are the best of the best. Background checked, drug tested, and professionally trained to certified skills and dependability. Servicing air conditioners, plumbing, electrical, and generators. Call 813-291-0522.
For service like it ought to be, fair, fast, and friendly. Call Cornerstone Pros.
And good Saturday morning. Coming up in about 30 minutes, you can join us for Janae's Tropicals. It's all about tropical plants and trees. Coming up at 9:30 on Faith Talk Tampa.
This hour have been pre-recorded for broadcast at this time.
America's young adults are facing a number of problems. Michael Harrington explains.
The Barna Group, a Christian research organization, has been tracking increasing levels of anxiety and mental problems amongst the millennial generation. 40% of them say they are worried about the future, anxious about their lives, and afraid to fail. Only about 1/3 of them say they feel deeply cared for by the people around them. These disturbing trends run parallel to young adults' decision to turn away from Christianity. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
The Jordan River is in trouble. The iconic waterway in Israel, the place where Jesus was baptized, is running dry. The lower Jordan River, which runs south from the Sea of Galilee, is especially threatened by decades of water diversions and by pollution. Only a tiny fraction of the river's historical flow now reaches its terminus to the Dead Sea. The river's history and water have been politically fraught as wholly intertwined with the entanglements of decades-old conflict. This is SRN News. The creator of Twitter shares his thoughts about the platform.
Well, the question was, did Twitter turn out the way that he wanted? Twitter founder and former chief executive Jack Dorsey says no. Commenting on Twitter, he said that he regrets the social media platform became a company. Dorsey says he believes Twitter should not be run by a state or company. If the sale to Elon Musk goes through, Dorsey stands to receive $978 million. Tasha Stevens reporting.
People in and around Mississippi's capital city are being told to prepare for flooding of the Pearl River. Storms dropped heavy rains in Mississippi and other parts of the Deep South. Some homes and businesses in the Jackson area are expected to flood as well. Experts say the Pearl River could crest on Tuesday at levels almost as high as during a 2020 flood. The Susanna Thames of Jackson hired a crew to move furniture, appliances, and other belongings out of a rental home she owns. More details at srnnews.com. With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A few states have been amending or repealing pay-to-stay laws that require former prisoners to reimburse states for the cost of their jail stays, sometimes at a daily rate that exceeds what would have been paid to stay in a nice hotel. A Connecticut woman who was billed nearly $84,000 for her 2.5-year prison stay has filed a federal lawsuit. Connecticut became the latest state to tweak its law this summer. A poll shows most Americans still distrust the media when it comes to political news in particular. The latest Rasmussen Report survey on the media finds most voters believe fake news is a serious problem. 62% say the problem of fake news is getting worse. Only 10% say they think it's getting better. Russian forces fired missiles and artillery on Ukrainian-held areas right across the river from Europe's largest nuclear power plant, according to authorities there today. This is SRN News.
WTBN Pinellas Park, WTW KFMD Plant City, WLCC Brandon.
Faith Talk Tampa. Download the Faith Talk Tampa app or listen on TuneIn and Odyssey.
The following program is sponsored by Choose Life and is pre-recorded.
Welcome to the Choose Life Radio Network. Your host is Jill Taylor. Every week we bring you a candid conversation with someone who's making a difference for the cause of life. And now here's Jill to introduce today's guest on Choose Life Radio.
When I was a small child, my father pastored a church in Los Angeles, California. I remember being outside that church and watching very confused